Hey guys, today we are making 3 low-calorie meal prep containers. This is my favorite way to lose weight because all you have to do is make the food in advance and then it's ready to go. And you don't even really have to think. It's about it when you're hungry. Grab one of these, eat it, no dishes, nothing like that. You just grab it and go. I'm going to use about a tablespoon of butter. In a pan on low heat, add about a tablespoon of olive oil. In a pot on the stove, add water according to the package instructions. Brown rice typically takes about 45 minutes. Give it 5 more minutes and then check back on it. This is what it should look like after you're done. Here are the seasonings that I used on the salmon and the ingredients for the sweet potatoes. That's pretty much it. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and the salmon, of course. That's pretty much it. Okay. And this is what all 3 of the meals together look like. It's so freaking good. Honestly, I could just eat this every day and I wouldn't get sick of it. It's so delicious. Each of these meals come in at under 300 calories and they're packed with protein, fiber, and healthy fats. This meal prep will keep you full and satisfied without packing on the pounds. And it's also really versatile. If you're not a fan of any of the ingredients that I used, feel free to swap them out for something that you like better. Just make sure that whatever you use is low in calories and high in fiber. Even layers of all the ingredients, no dry spots. And now you can easily grab this, take it with you wherever you need to go. Eat it straight from the container. Super easy. Salmon can dry out really easily, so if you find that it's looking a little dry, you can turn your oven off and leave it in there with the door closed just to steam a little bit. Our salmon is done, and it looks great. Go ahead and divide the salmon evenly among the 4 containers. Press it down so it's all in one layer. Remember, you still want it to be slightly moist. It's okay if it's not super moist like this, but you don't want it to be dry. Dry salmon is not good salmon. While the brown rice is cooking, you can go ahead and measure out the amount that you want. For this recipe, I'm going to use 1/2 cup of dry brown rice. Once the brown rice is finished cooking, drain the water and add the brown rice. Now let's divide the brown rice evenly among the 4 containers. Press the brown rice down so it's all in one layer and compact. If you notice any areas where there is extra space, fill it in with any other grains that you have. If you do and want any empty spots or dry spots, because that will cause your meal prep to spoil faster. Next, add in the kale and begin to it. Kale can get tough really quickly, so I like to move it around constantly to make sure it doesn't burn or get tough. If you have a large bag of kale like I do, you may need to do this in 2 batches. If that's the case, just keep in mind you might need 2 pans. After the kale is completely wilted, it should look something like this. Now go ahead and divide the kale evenly among the 4 containers. I pressed it down so it would fit in one layer. If you're noticing that your kale is stacked up on itself, that means you probably didn't cook it long enough, and it will be tough when you eat it. If you see anything like this, it means it's done perfectly, and it's going to taste delicious. And then for the cinnamon, just a dash. If you like cinnamon, then go ahead and use a little more. I only use a little because I don't really like cinnamon that much. So taste test it and see if you need to add any more butter or cinnamon. Once it tastes good to you, go ahead and divide it evenly between the 4 containers. I'm using half of the sweet potatoes that I made, because I'm only going to be showing you guys how to build one of these containers. I put about half of the sweet potatoes in the container, and then I am going to press it down so it kind of compacts, and then I'll know that I've got an even layer of sweet potatoes. This part is really important because you want to make sure you have an even layer of food at the bottom. That way, when you put the next ingredient in, it will also be even. And they also great for portion control, because everything is pre-portioned out for you ahead of time. So you do want to have to worry about overeating. These containers are about 32 ounces or 950 milliliters, and each one of these meals comes in at under 300 calories. So let's get started. First thing that we're going to make is some baked salmon. To do this, grab an oven tray, line it with parchment paper or aluminum foil, whatever you like, and then grab your salmon fillet. Now, if you want it, you can skin the salmon before you cube it. I usually do it because the skin actually has a lot of nutrients and it's good for you. It's just up to you. Cube the salmon and place it on your baking sheet. This recipe that I'm using makes enough for like 4 meal preps. So, if you're not planning on eating this all in one sitting, just keep in mind that you might need 2 baking sheets. After cutting your salmon into cubes, drizzle a little bit of olive oil on top. I'm going to use about a tablespoon. Then put a pinch of salt and pepper on top. Make sure to season it really well because the salt really brings out the flavor of the salmon. You can add any other seasonings that you like. For example, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, all really good. We're going to bake this in a preheated oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 minutes or until the salmon is fully cooked. You'll know it's done when it's slightly flaky. While the salmon is baking, go ahead and grab a container like this. This is a 32-ounce or 950 ml container. I love these things. They're awesome for meal prepping. Grab a fork and start mashing up the sweet potatoes. If you don't have a fork, you can always use a potato masher, or you can cube the sweet potatoes. The reason why I'm mashing them up is because I think it's going to help with portion control. Because when you're looking at a pile of mashed sweet potatoes, it's really hard to gauge how much you're actually taking, because when you look at this, it looks like a small portion, but it's actually a really large portion. So I feel like when you mash it up, it gives you a better idea of how much you should be having per meal. But again, that's just my opinion. Do whatever you feel most comfortable doing. Next, you're going to want to take your sweet potatoes and mix them with a little bit of butter and a little bit of cinnamon. Next, we're going to make the kale. Last thing we're going to do is cook the brown rice. Now, let's check on our salmon. It's been 15 minutes, and it's looking good. It's flaking easily, and it's almost done. Now let's take a look at one of the containers that I already built. Now let me show you the ingredients that I used. Here are some other meal prep ideas that you might enjoy.